What's up, y'all? It's Jersey Demic, and I'm here with the Garden State Hip Hop Hour, and we rock it, and we live, and we coming at you straight from North New Jersey, fresh out to all of New Jersey. I mean, from here all the way down to Asbury, AC, and all that.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Garden State Hip Hop Hour. We're live once again for the first time in months. Obviously, we're back with the Shooter 2020 visuals. We're here with Demic.
It's good.
In Newark, New Jersey. So it's very exciting. How you feeling? I don't know if you've done any live interviews or in-person type things since this whole virus started.
Nah, definitely not since this started. And it's been a while. It's been a few years since I did any interview. So I'm hyped to be here. I see you working always. So what I'm saying, I'm honored. You know what I mean?
Nah, I appreciate you. And wait, so you said years. So first off, I feel special. So shout out to this man. So why has it been so long though since you've done an interview?
I just felt like, I don't know, I was in a transition of a lot of things, and I wasn't really clear on a lot of my thoughts, so I didn't want to say certain things and be like, oh, I don't even feel like that. I mean, during just my growth and things, you know what I'm saying? Basically, so I just kind of shut up and did my work. You feel me?
Nah, that's dope. And before I get too far into it, I should ask you this first. But if you want to give a little background about yourself or anyone who may not know.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who don't know, entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? Entrepreneur, I just feel like I just get to it. So whatever I set out to do, I kind of just, I don't know, get to it. I do a lot of stuff with music, online content, social media. I'm sure even if you have never seen my face, you've seen my stuff. You know what I mean? At one point in time, we was doing 3 billion views a month on Facebook. I mean, a couple years ago when Facebook was popping and King Botch and all of them was popping. Yeah, I was you know what I'm saying? There was a lot going around. So yeah.
Billions.
Yeah,
just hearing that number, as a fellow content creator, a lot of us aspire to get to that point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I always OD. So when I look at something, I look at it if I could get one. I was talking to a girl one time, and she just started to blog on Medium, and she said I made 25 cents, and she was hyped. And I get that because I'm like, okay, if I could get 25 cents, I mean I can get 25 mil. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always hyped. So and I'm always gonna push it to the limit. So and beyond the limit. So that's just, so that's how you get to. That's how I got to $1 billion, because I got to $1 million. I said, hold up, if you get $1 million, it's got to be more here. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, if y'all see me drop shirts that say if I could get 25 cents, I could get 25 million, it came from this man right here. Just that train of thought, not everybody has, and I necessarily didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but to be able to put it into words is a talent.
The thing is, and that's why I know I don't sleep on nothing. So, I could see somebody, outside, they could be, a little kid, and I could see him sell, 2 lemonades, and I'm like, well, you could sell 2, you could really get it popping. So, the fact that you could convince anybody to get what you got, it could go all the way anytime. So, I just always, that's why I respect people at all levels. As long as the work ethic is, that's what I look for. Is the work ethic there, and everything else will come. You know what I mean? With time.
Now, yeah. First and foremost, you would consider yourself a music artist?
Yeah. Of course, that's what I've been making music since I was 13. You know what I mean? And I was the kid in the neighborhood where everybody came to my crib. We was dropping mixtapes, taking them to school, pressing up the mixtapes, passing them out. You know what I'm saying? And I was the one that pretty much if you wanted to do a mixtape, you came to my crib. You know what I'm saying? Because I was recording, making songs, putting it out myself, trying to figure out how do you make beats. You know what I mean? We grabbed, at the time, I think FL Studio wasn't even called that yet. It was Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops, yeah.
The music is always driven everything I do. I might figure out how to do something in music and then transit. Even that's how I built social media. Because I understood, I was well, I built a bunch of fans on Facebook, and I said, well, even if I'm not going to give them music, I can give them other things. So I'm I can monetize them different ways. So they're here for music, but it's still 25,000 people. Maybe they have another common thing that they're into, and so I can hit them with, whether it's clothes or some rappers hit you with liquor, things like that. And that's kind of like I consider myself a musician first, above all, and then I use that to learn and apply it to other things along my way to get to the bread.
Yeah, so it sounds like you took the music and like you said, you were able to branch it out. So is that when you like the whole entrepreneurial spirit kind of derived from and started from?
That comes from my parents. Like at my core, I came here, I was born in the islands. I was born in Dominica. At like around 5, 6 years old, I came here and basically what happened was I seen my parents improve throughout my life. So like I knew that if you worked for something, you could get it because I wasn't born where we already had what we had. And I'm not even saying that whether you're rich, poor, whatever, because sometimes you're poor and you stay poor. Mm-hmm. And so you don't think that anything could ever work. Or you're rich and you stay rich. So you haven't seen any type of progress. So with us, I seen the progress. I seen like from this apartment to this apartment to this house to this house. And I seen it throughout my life. And so that always drove me. Plus, my mom is the ultimate gasser. Like, you know what I'm saying? If she meets you, she's gonna gas you. Like, oh, you do interviews? Yo, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, I always felt like I could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I mean, that support is much needed, and everyone doesn't have that.
No, yeah.
Like, some people, even I tend to be like that. Some people might think you're just trying to, like, fill their head up or just, like, you know, just, it doesn't always feel, I guess, authentic.
Right.
So, but to actually have the person that you knew was being authentic and hyping you up,
right,
it just helped you drive it even harder. So at which point did you realize, you know, that you could keep building it up? Like, what was that first success outside of music that was like, yeah, okay, I got more than just music?
Yeah, well, you know what, before I get to that, I just want to say that one thing that people have to realize is, like, when people are honest with you and they tell you the truth, it's always going to be a gas, because it's like, the truth is always realer. So like if somebody's working on something, it doesn't matter if it's terrible or if it's a thing. The truth is they're getting better, or they have a passion for it, or they have a love for it. And if you like you could break it down as, let's say like somebody like, I don't know who's out here right now that people don't like who's somebody that people just
okay, Russ.
Okay.
Because we always see the memes, we always see the
right,
things on the internet.
Russ. So like, and that's a good example. So my people might say, "Oh, Russ, he corny." You know what I'm saying? But if you tell the truth about what he did, you're talking about a kid who came from wherever he came from. I think he was from Jersey, and moved to Atlanta, mm-hmm. and he built his career, regardless of how you feel about anything, and he built it by himself, and came up from the bottom of the industry to selling out his own tours and things like that, and that's the truth. But people will say, they'll write it off as this, oh, that's whack. Mm. But you can't, you know what I mean? But the actual truth is the other shit, that he actually did everything else, and he's an entrepreneur himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like with Russ, again, it's because I guess when you go against the current wave or the trends and do your own thing, people will try to tear you down.
I feel like corny just means they don't know where to place you yet, you know what I'm saying? Or they just don't know, like, it's corny because they don't understand like where you fit into the whole scope of what's going on. Because it's like, who is Russ? Like, how would you know what I mean? Like, they're not privy to him to know where to place him, so they're gonna be like, oh, that's corny. I don't know what to do with it. You feel me? So yeah, right. And what's the other thing?
I'll say. Now we've been talking so much today. It's like I'm trying to keep everything in my head. I was asking, like, at which point or what did you do that you realized, you know, I can make money other ways or be successful, not just with music, you know? Because you got books, you got content. You're telling me you do cartoons. You got multiple platforms now.
I think because I've always looked at everything logically. So even from before, like when I think when we was first doing music, everybody look at rap and they didn't see the work in it. They seen the lifestyle of it. So but they didn't see. But I looked at it as business from like the start of it. So because I'm like, how do you do this? So I would go under it and think like, how do you do this? And that's how I started to apply, because I started to look at it. So I was like, okay, like, all right, so if I want to do a show, I want to be in front of people. So I would start saying, where's there a bunch of people? You know what I mean? I would never go to an open mic and do open mics and things like that. Like I did that at one point in my life, but it was like I fast tracked it, started booking myself at the Meadowlands Fair, car shows, because you got like 400 people right there that's locally in your neighborhood, and you could present them with your songs. So it's like, why wouldn't you do that? But people don't even think like, oh yeah, car show is like, you could do I was doing a whole tours of car shows. I'll put it together myself by just reaching out to the organizer of the shows. Like, I mean, like I would call you in Philadelphia, you in Delaware, you in Jersey, you in New York, and I would book it myself. You know what I'm saying? You could get paid when you look at it that way. So like my thing was always to look at it like what it actually is, and that's why I was able to and I don't know if that answers that really, but like that's why I was able to like transition between different things, because I look at everything as exactly the same way. You know
yeah. So I gotta ask now. So what enticed you more? Is it the business side of music or is it the art? Because it sounds like you kind of put more focus, just based off what you're saying right here.
Yeah.
Like you immediately went into the business.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean the art of making, cause I used to listen to like pop. You know what I mean? When I first started to rap, and I just wanted to make people feel the way pop made me feel. And so that's what I was doing. But then it starts to be like you want to make people feel that way, so you have to reach them. So then it's like, well, how do I reach them? And because I was not into the circle jerk, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like 5 of us calling each other hot and nobody else is hearing the music. You feel what I'm saying? So like I was just always into. It's not that I'm into the business of it. It's just I'm into getting heard. You know what I mean? Like I'm into awareness. Like I don't want to just make a song and nobody heard it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like to make the song, visualize the show, how it's gonna go, what parts are gonna yell back at you, and then get out there and do it, and then it's like almost the completion of the story when you go out there and you say da 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 da, and they say it back. You like, I remember when I sat over there and knew that this was gonna be like this, and I just liked that path. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How were you learning these? Were you just was it trial and error? Did you have like a mentor?
Nah, just trial and error. Like always, just like trial and error. I try everything. I rather like, and this is one of like my principles. It's just like I need to know. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather know than have money in my pocket. So like so if it cost me $1,000 to try something, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try it because I'd rather know than have the $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that's kind of like my principle on like everything when it comes to that. You feel me?
Yeah, and you're being heard. I know during this quarantine you dropped Kobe for Dinner.
Right.
On YouTube, that's over 1 million views.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you're doing to this point is working. You were telling me you're working on a project.
Yeah, I'm working. I just did Flood the Gates with Frank Rizzo. Maybe he'll pass by in a bit, but and me and him been rapping for years. That's like a 12-song project, and I basically was just making songs and sending it to him. But we did that before the quarantine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I just did that. Just did Ben Teller, and that was cool. Like it's basically like upbeat. I make music from when I'm at the crib, like trying to get money. So like all my music, that's what it's about. It's not like stunning shit like that. It's really like I need something to listen to motivate me to keep getting to it. You know what I mean? If I'm trading stocks, or if I'm working on some music stuff even, or if I'm doing something with social media, if I'm just making deals happen, you know what I mean? I need that theme music for it, and that's what like I work on. You know what I mean?
Like when we first got here, you told me when we were watching the videos with stocks, you're like, this is a theme song I listen to while watching the stocks.
Right.
So you create your own theme music, which I think is dope. So, we're in this unprecedented time. Obviously, a lot of us have been locked up in the house. It's been a quarantine. Mm-hmm. So how have you kept that motivation throughout the quarantine?
Throughout the quarantine, first of all, I was already living in quarantine, kind of. Well, no, I do normally. Then I went on the Indigo tour with Chris Brown and Joyner and all of them. And so what happened was I knew when I was coming back off the tour, that was like in November, that I was going to not really mess with nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that. When I came back off the tour, that was a 60-day tour where you're on a bus, everybody's smoking, drinking, doing whatever, like, and you're just trapped on the bus. And it's like a small, you know what I mean? So I knew when I get back home, nobody's going to see me for like 3 months. So I was already in quarantine mode when the quarantine hit. because I just had the time of my life on tour. You feel me?
But like, what was that experience like to be here? With Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, Joyner Lucas. You said right?
Yeah, Joyner, Ty Dolla $ign, Yella Beezy was on it.
Yeah.
He was opening. It was crazy.
And this is a Chris Brown tour.
Yeah,
like Chris Brown throws.
Yeah, he's the biggest thing that we have in our generation. He's basically like Mike. And if you don't think that's true, you should be going on the tour, and you understand what's going on. You're talking about 25,000 people every night, a different place. And when you're on tour, like, so what happens is you fall asleep, you party. You fall asleep, you party. And you're on a tour bus, but when you sleep on the tour bus, when you wake up every morning, it don't feel like you're in another place. It feels like Groundhog Day. You know what I mean? Because you're in Buffalo, you go to sleep, it's a 10-hour drive to Hartford or something, you know what I mean, or Ohio or something, and then and you wake up and you're at another arena that looks exactly the same as where you just was at. So you're like, it's like you're reliving the same day over and over. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't imagine what that's like. I mean, so it puts you in the right mood too. It seems like to come back and just really get to work. It sounds like you got a lot of that out of your system.
Yeah, I feel like it's motivating because like music is culture. So when you go on tour, you're like in the middle of culture. So you get to see what people react to. I'm watching Chris Brown on stage, and I'm seeing what people react to, what they don't react to. I'm watching the openers, like I'm watching Yella, I'm watching Joyner, and I'm seeing the difference between Joyner and Tory Lanez or something like that. Or I'm picking up things from how Ty Dolla $ign does his show. You know what I mean? Because everybody had their show and how they did it. It's just like it's motivating, but you also get to pick up a lot of things. You get to know what beats sound a certain way. That's why when I came back, I did the bank teller, and it's real bouncy because it just was. If I was looking for beats that felt like when we were backstage in the green room and everybody's turning up, and it's like the after party to the show, and I was looking for something that could match that vibe for when I'm back in that vibe. And I just know how fun it is, and that's kind of like what helps drive you to create. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's super dope. So during this quarantine, you already have plans to be quarantined.
Right.
But what's a typical day for you? Like a day in your life for someone that is creating all this content, music, learning new skills.
Yeah. So my typical day is I wake up. I'm looking at emails. I might take a look at Facebook and Instagram, see what's going on in there as far as like whatever like people are talking about. Which I don't even really like. Honestly, if I didn't do what I do, I probably wouldn't even be a part of it because I'm just not into a lot of things. But I have to stay on top of it. So like, I check all the trends for the day, and then I kind of like get to it. I'm like constantly every week I'm like I'm gonna focus on this, and then I'm gonna engulf myself in it. So from the moment I wake up, I'm going to have a YouTube clip on about whatever topic it is I'm focused on. Right now I'm focused on options and trading stocks. So like I wake up in the morning and I'm turning on a YouTube clip where somebody's explaining something and it's just playing. I'm not even paying attention, but it's putting me in a universe where these things are at the top of my mind because I'm walking around the house just hearing it, I'm eating, whatever I'm doing. And so my typical day is just really that. And then I might, my friends might start hitting me up around 4 or 5 o'clock. What's going on later? Well, right now, ain't nothing's going on later. But I'm really like engulfed in everything I do all day long. I don't stop. So it's like I don't have that cutoff where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this until 8 o'clock. I'm gonna do this for 3 hours.
Yeah, and how are you able to diversify like that? Because you have your music career, which you got to put focus on. Then you said you're learning things like stocks and options, which also take a lot of focus, and like creating the content you create for places like Facebook, which is a very toxic place. So I can see why you say you wouldn't really want to be on there as much, especially when we got this political turmoil going on and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like we all care. Like I care about everything that's going on, but it's like sometimes it gets to the point where it starts affecting you mentally, like because you get sucked into being angry too. We all care. Like I want to make things better, and like I've been having to deal with everything that I see going on. Like I've been know about police because I got I got one time a couple times, but one time I got like into a fight with a cop over nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it has scarred my face for the longest. And so like I already knew what it is, like with how police handle you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're black, especially when you're young. And you know like I'm all with that fight, but I also need to focus on certain things because I have to make sure my life is in order. So like I don't always want to go on there and take part in that conversation every single day, even though it's important to have it.
Yeah, so, but again, I was trying to ask you, like, how do you diversify your focus? Like, you know, music and, like, you know, the stocks as well.
I kind of, because I'm into hiring people to do things. So, like, what I do is, if I need something done, I'm going to appoint somebody to do it. Because if I have to do it, I might not get through all of it. So, like, I'm going to. There's a book called The 4 Hour Work Week. You ever read that?
No, I haven't heard that.
It's by Tim Ferriss, I think. But it's a popular book. But it's basically talks about like reducing the amount of hours that you work. Even though I don't do that, I do extend myself because I want to find somebody who does what I need and then ask them if they could do it for me in exchange for some bread. So that's how I kind of diversify between things because I have this person who's handling this person who's handling this music shit for me, this person who's handling this and that, and then I have those point people that I go to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's how I keep things like that's how I keep kind of jumping between different things because I'm not the one that's actually having to go all the way into every single thing. If I was, it wouldn't get done.
Yeah, that's because like you know when we spoke, it's like you told me all these different things you do. I'm like, yo, how's this man? You know, able to. It's one thing to be able to do all these things, but it's another thing to be able to do all these things and actually do them like successfully and not just like wing it or seem like you're just putting it out there. You know, like you just mentioned a book. Mm-hmm. You showed me the book you wrote.
Right. Entrepreneurs.
How did that come about, and why did you feel it was important for you to put a book out?
Well, everywhere I go, right, and even in my like on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere, anybody who talks to me, there's a consistent theme of them wanting to know how I do certain things because they see how like I don't want to say like not independent of the word, but they see how much I stand on my own, and they look. A lot of people look at me like, how are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? Because they might, I don't know, maybe they look at me and think that you're not special. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't look special. So it's like they're like, how are you doing that? And so like they always ask me about things. So like one time I was in LA, Jordan was shooting a music video, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just kind of like chilling around, hanging for the vibe and everything. And the girl was like, yo, you know what I'm saying, how do you do this and then to do that? And I said, you know what, instead of just answering her, I'm about to just write these things down so I could just start telling people like, yo, go check this out. And so I started writing in my iPhone, in my notes. And I basically just wrote for like a day and got to like, I kept writing, but I'm talking to her, like, yo, this is what you gotta do. And I'm writing down these principles. And then I was like, you know what, I should just finish this out, make it a book. And then like I think like a day later, I looked into getting a designer because like I said, I'm not gonna be doing everything. So I got somebody to design it, turn it into an ebook. Then I got another person to do the audio book of it. And you know, so for the people like me who rather listen and read, you know, that's kind of how that book came about. And it went from not even a thought to like being published in like a week. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of how I get to things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were talking about one of the topics in the book that really stood out to me was the planning part, because like that's something I struggle with. Mm-hmm. You know, because sometimes I just want to have an idea and just do it. It's not necessarily always planning.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. And that's the thing, because if I had to sit there and talk to somebody about, you should write a book, it's gonna take them forever to even go through the planning. They're gonna talk about outlines and all this extra stuff, and it's just like you're gonna do all of that, and that's work. You know what I mean? It is work to plan it. So like to put out the plan of the book, now you gotta actually do the book on top of that. It's too much for me. So I don't agree with planning, because I feel like when you're done with the plan, you feel like you've accomplished something and you've done nothing. I mean, and now you're going into a space where you don't even know what the space is, because I'm not an author. So I don't want to plan out too much, because I don't know what pitfalls I'm about to, that's going to be ahead of me. Maybe I plan out all of this and I realize, oh, you know, you can't do a hardcover. You can only do a paperback, because a hardcover is going to cost you this, or it's going to be this, or this store doesn't accept that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to plan it. I'm going to do it, and then when they tell me, I'm going to adjust and make the best decision at that time, going like moving on.
Yeah, man, and just I just feel like even to put a book out like that and to know you could have that impact, or you said like what stood out to me again was like how you just did it on your phone.
Yeah.
I feel like it's dope that we live in a world for creatives that, you know, you can do almost anything on this phone.
Right. Right, no, of course. I mean, and people have to realize that they complain about the price of the iPhone being like $1,200, but it's like, yo, you know how many different devices the iPhone like it replaced? You know what I mean? You don't need an alarm clock anymore. That's $50 right there. You know what I mean? Some people probably look at it like $50 for an alarm clock, $5. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's replacing alarm clocks, regular clocks, calculators, everything in this thing.
Cameras, like this whole setup like we have right here, or you know, think about maybe 20 years ago, you had to lug all the stuff around.
Right.
Right now, a 10-year-old kid could go shoot a movie.
Right,
whole movie.
exactly. And it's all in the iPhone. And then you got the apps. And it's just like, so to me, it's priceless. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, I'd rather pay less for it, but I don't complain about it because I see the value of what it's going to bring me back. And I feel like a lot of people need to understand when, like, stop complaining about prices on things, because you have to look at the value. And so I never feel like I'm overpaying if I'm getting what I actually want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, you can't overpay for something that works. You feel me? It's only when you, I'm in music, you know what I'm saying? So, like, let's say you want press, right? And I hire a publicist. If they get me press that actually works, I'm in Billboard and I'm on Good Morning America, like they're supposed to, I mean, that's worth more than $100,000 in a month, right? It's only overpaying if I pay them for a press and then they don't give me an article, or they give me like one or two, and then it's like it's not even like a real, like an established outlet or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah, man. And I was just even thinking throughout the whole time we've been at home and on the quarantines, like, what would I have done without this phone? What would many of us done without this phone?
I think that the coronavirus is like cleansing the earth, like
cleansing the earth.
And I don't mean that, I don't want to listen. Anybody who wasn't trying to change before this is forced to now, because let's say you always was like, oh, I got a brick and mortar store, I got a storefront. You're done. I got a store in the mall, I don't got to worry about what's coming next. You're done. The malls are closing. Like, everything is changing, and if you wasn't preparing for that prior to this basically took your business out.
But I want to say, like, what about like an older generation who's maybe not as savvy? Like you're saying, playing it forward. What about people who had to deal maybe with a mental health, like, you know, the mental health issues of just being stuck in the house and losing their business or their jobs or the employees?
No, I'm not. Listen, I don't want nobody to lose their business.
No, I know you're not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you know, like how necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like the coronavirus is, and I don't know if this answers your question. If it don't, let me know. But I just feel like the earth is, I mean, everything is just, life is unforgivable. Like, life is not a game. You know what I mean? It's not a joke. Like, anything can happen at any time, right? So, like, with the coronavirus, it really forced people to go online to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the stock market, every sector is down except technology is up 18% over the past year. You know what I mean? And that's not even no, like, that's not.
Nah, you just like ran that off real quick.
Right.
I fuck with it.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's not even no, like, sensitive information. That's like regular. Like, you just should know that, because, like you said, what would you have done without the phone? So everything you was about to do, you can't go out. So now it's Uber Eats, right? So Uber. So now that company's, and then you can't go to the mall. So now it's Amazon automatically. So you know that. That's why that stock is going up, right? But I just think that the coronavirus forced people to try to do things that they should have been trying to do, like, all along. You know what I'm saying? Like, even I've been seeing you've been doing the live stuff on Instagram. I mean, you was doing the interviews, and it's like that should have been a thing. You know what I mean? But people's minds wasn't ready for it, so I understand why we weren't doing it and other people weren't doing it. But, like, the radio interviews, Hot 97, it should have been a thing to be calling in from LA on tour doing the interview for the internet. But it took this to make you do what made sense the whole time.
No, I can't argue with you on that. You're right. It's something that made us think and have to evolve, and I'm sure you've experienced it with, you know, your music business and all the various businesses you do.
Right.
Like you said, the coronavirus did push a lot of things forward that maybe we weren't thinking about. Because now, if you're talking about Instagram Live interviews, now I can interview someone in California.
Exactly.
I can interview maybe someone that doesn't necessarily have the time to come somewhere and set up, and it allows more fan interaction live because they can comment.
And verses, all the verses and stuff.
So verses.
So now people are actually looking at Instagram Live as they weren't really as much a few months ago.
Yeah, no, you're right. What was your favorite verses?
The reggae one with Bounty Killer.
Okay.
This probably was my favorite because I feel like they did a different vibe and they were in the same room. You know what I mean? Like it was online, but they were both there.
Oh yeah, that was fly. You know who did that really well, and I don't think it was a fair matchup, but they had great chemistry and it came out very well. Was the Alicia Keys joint?
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Just because, like, to me, Alicia Keys is one of my favorite singers. She has such a beautiful voice.
Who did she go?
John Legend.
John Legend? Oh, for real?
Yeah.
What was that?
Wait, no, was it John Legend?
Was it?
We might have to cut that part out. Back it down. No. It was Chrissy Teigen's husband.
Chrissy Teigen. Yeah, that's John Legend.
Oh, it was okay. It was John Legend.
Yeah.
I believe.
I like that you said Chrissy Teigen's husband though, because I'm gonna tell you something. I'll tell you something.
That's bad. I know it that way.
Exactly. No, but that's facts. So like, what? So my thing is, this is one thing I just want to get out there. People don't realize how much relationships drive society, right? So like, a lot of men want to be single. I'm single, right? It's whatever. So like, but like the relationship is what people like to tune into and see. So like, almost every popping rapper is in a relationship with somebody who's also popping too. Know what I mean? So like, if you go down the list, that's because I feel like women drive a lot of things in culture, and they're not gonna pay attention to you unless they measure you by who you with, like who's your girl. Cause I need to know, like, if you a dope dude or not. So if you got something whack with you,
yeah,
right?
John Legend was the sexiest man of the year, so I mean, she's got a good man on her side.
But then you go to Jay-Z. I mean,
Beyonce.
My daughter knows Jay-Z is Beyonce's husband. Who is Jay-Z? Oh, you mean Beyonce's husband? Yeah, I've seen his face before. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said.
I know.
It's wrong with that. And then Kanye's with Kim, and then Meek was with Nicki at one point. There's not nobody who's popping that.
That's a good point.
You almost can't even. If they don't have a partner, you don't know them.
No, that's a fact. And again, like, not even taking away from him, but like Alicia Keys is a hard match for anybody.
Right.
But damn, I want to touch on two things because now we're talking about that. First, you said this before, and I thought it was very interesting. You thought there should be no comments on the internet, since you said about how comments during the verses, Instagram Live. So, go into that. Why do you think there should be no comments?
First of all, I'm not about any type of what you call it? Like I don't want governments to control people, right? I'm not about any type of censorship. I'm with all the smoke, right? But the internet is so many people who aren't really mentally stable enough to be on the internet. And I'm not talking about the people who attack. I'm talking about the victims, the ones who can't take an attack. So you might be some little old lady in the comments and some random chick that's just super wild says some crazy shit, could say something crazy to you. But that's not why. I feel like okay, so you make content. You spend a lot of time creating your content and you shape it. It's like going to the movies. And you shape it and then people watch it, and one comment could make people view your content in a completely different way, which is what old artists complain about with hip hop, because we sample their music and then now people we're making people look at the music in a different light, and they don't like that. So when I said no comments, that's kind of like I just feel like you have to leave people to think for themselves, because people are so influenced by each other that one comment will derail everything and have people mentally going this way. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you, because it can affect the art. But don't you have, just the same way people have the option to go on there and make these comments, don't you feel like as an artist, because the internet, you gotta have thick skin.
Right.
You're choosing to put yourself out there. So people choose to make those comments, whether they're a vicious comment or a complimentary comment.
Well, I feel like, let's say like people like when they say, like Academics and Meek always going at it because Academics doesn't like how Meek is.
I know, Act is wild.
Yeah, but he has a lot of points I agree with. But my thing is like, I'm good, because I'm not like, I don't care what nobody says about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had to, because I've been dealing with viral traffic so long and millions of people that don't know me or da-da. And I had to know at some point, maybe like 7 years ago, I had to know because one time they attacked me. They said I didn't like Muslim people because I took a picture with. There was a fencer from New Jersey. She was from Maplewood. I don't know but she went to the Olympics, and basically like I took a picture with her at South by Southwest, and I was proud of her for going to the Olympics, being from Jersey. I'm meeting you in Texas, and I took the picture with her, and I don't mean to run off this
No, you're good, man.
But it's like I put the picture up and went to sleep, and I said, "Oh, she's representing Jersey in the Olympics. LOL. She representing the USA too." And I woke up in the morning, and the comments was like, "You hate Muslims," because she had the garb on. You know what I mean?
But just because you put the LOL in there?
Because I put LOL, she represented the USA. But I meant it like she's repping Jersey. Oh yeah, in America too. That's what I meant it.
Yeah.
But they went off on me, and I had thousands of comments about how I hated Muslims, and that's when I knew that the press could really like twist something. It didn't reach press, but what I'm saying is I just realized at that point how easily a comment of one person saying, "What you mean? Like, what you trying to say? Like, she shouldn't represent America?" That's not what I meant. But that's how they took it, that I was laughing that she was representing America.
Isn't it crazy how 3 letters, an acronym, and they're trying to determine what you are trying to say, really? Because we can't, even like a text message, we can't know the tone or what they're implying.
Because they don't know your heart. So after that happened, I had to, because I was arguing with them, and I was like, you know what, I got to just make it so that only the people who know me, I'm going to listen to what they say about certain things. And everybody else, and after that, I've totally cut off any emotion about anything that people say online about anything. Now, if one of my friends who actually know my heart or what I'm trying to do or what I say, they might come at me and say, "Yo, you wilding right here." And then I'll listen to it, and then we'll have a discussion. We'll argue with each other, I mean, because they know me. But I'm not listening to some random person on the internet who's commenting on and trying to twist words into whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, I mean, that's my whole thoughts on like commenting and like people who troll and all that. You know what I mean? But I'm with all this shit. So
yeah, but like we were talking before, you need the comments as well, because the comments are just like what helps things go viral. It drives it. It's what the internet's for.
Right.
It's getting there versus TV.
Memes are comments. Technically, right? So but sometimes people, like, let's say like somebody puts a meme on something with children in it that's sexual, right? Or like, let's say they're seeing something and then they say something, and then so it spins the whole context of what you're watching, because you were just watching this little kid doing whatever, and now that comment birthed that sexual thought that took that whole thing left.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, like I just love, that's why I post in Instagram stories and not on my page as much. Because I like the fact that I can post in the stories and somebody can react to it and I can talk to them. They're not being influenced by the 10, 100 other comments, the 1,000 other comments of what they see people say about it. It's just you and it's just a different vibe when it's just a story and they reply to it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like being on a post and they're responding to the way other people are responding. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. And you're a father. You mentioned your daughter earlier.
Yeah.
So do you try to control her internet access, or how do you go about that?
Definitely.
Because you mentioned the comments, how the sexual stuff, or whether it's one comment to twist something.
Yeah. Well, like my daughter, I was building her TikTok.
Okay.
Like way beyond before this thing. So like it was only kids on TikTok. So she had a few thousand people on there, and then now, like when the coronavirus hit, quarantine, everybody ran to TikTok, I had to take her off there because you have the girls who do OnlyFans and all that, they're running to TikTok now, and everybody's going viral, and you just can't control what's coming across her feed. So I don't want her on Instagram. Instagram is like, she can see anything on there. So like, I just control it, and then so I got like the parental controls on her phone. So like, anytime she needs to use the app, she has to send a notification. I see it, no matter where she is. She's with my mother right now. And if she wants to use the app, I get a notification that she wants to use it, and I can let her use it for an hour.
It's that detailed?
Yeah, I can let her use it for an hour, for the whole day, depending on what it is. So I know, like, but yeah, like TikTok and stuff like that, I kind of didn't want her on it but now TikTok increased parental controls too. So like I've let her back to use it because I want her to create and be free and know and see what people do, but I don't want her to see it so early that she doesn't know how to respond. Like, what's this? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so your daughter's kind of going down that creative path. I know you had her in your video, Kobe for dinner, and you include your daughter in a lot of stuff that you do creatively. So even during this time, what's it like being a parent and being a father? Because you know kids are at home, they're not going to school.
I like it. I love it actually. I love having her with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I could teach her better than the school could teach her. I could mold her into actually learning something. I feel like school is super general information because you have all these people that went to school, went to college. You know what I mean? And I'm not a fan of college. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I have like 3 different degrees, right? So masters, bachelors, or whatever. And I still don't agree with college because I feel like it scammed a lot of people. Everybody's in debt to college. You have people's parents who kind of put up their homes, went in debt, took their retirement funds to put their kids in the school to get a piece of paper that says that they could do something that they can't even do. But I love the quarantine because I get to sit here and take her to LA and have her with me because she's not in school. So now she gets to be on a video set and learn firsthand what's actually going down. Like, oh, this is how that works. If she's in school, I can't do, like, she's not learning that. You know what I mean? She's learning random information that isn't going to help her actually make money in the long run. It's just going to help her be able to maybe know common information so like she can get a job assisting somebody. But I don't want her to ever have to work for nobody. You know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, I dig that. And again, with the coronavirus changing things, how we were talking about earlier, how things are going to change going forward. You put something on your story earlier today, like, what do you think about schools going forward? Are you comfortable with your daughter going back into a classroom? You think it's going to change?
Yeah, I'm not that scared of the coronavirus. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, I respect it because you respect any virus, anything that makes people sick and taking our lives. But I don't like, there's no problem with it when it comes, like, to me. So I'm cool with sending her back to school. Because I feel like you have to live. Like, how long are we gonna be? You know what I mean? Like, is it gonna be 10 years where this is her childhood? So the one thing is that I don't really have a lot of friends that have daughters her age. So she doesn't have. She's like not being able to experience other children right now as she's out of school and with me all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the socializing aspect.
Yeah, so I'm cool with sending them back. We just got a letter from the district saying that they're sending them back two days a week, 3 days a week, you know what I mean, something like that, and there's mostly online schooling. So I'm cool, but I've seen that people aren't doing it, like, you know what I'm saying? They're saying they're not. So it's about to be a fight. That's gonna be the next
a generational impact soon.
Oh, that's coming, but like there's gonna be a protest in the street come September.
Oh, about the schools?
Yeah, like the Black Lives Matter thing and put police. The schools is coming next because the schools are opening. You're gonna get your child left back because you're not sending them to school. Diapers is gonna be coming to people's house because your kid's not going to school, and people are like, I don't want to send my kid to school to get them sick because y'all told me that this thing is killing people.
Yeah, I think it's hard. It's like every day is something new. Like now, like you said, it's gonna be protests about schools opening up, whether it's a Black Lives Matter, whether it's some police brutality, whether it's people upset that they can't go to their favorite restaurant and sit inside and the virus.
And it's so hard to know because I feel like the reason that these things are hitting so much is because I feel like, I mean, you know, I deal with like viral traffic a lot, right? And I just understand the internet. I know a lot of people that in all sectors of everything online, you know what I mean? So I understand how they manipulate things, you know, like regular people could manipulate things and, you know, and get things done online. So it's just like I feel like now that the media is learning how to use social media, it's becoming dangerous because like, you know, like people respect it. It's an authority to CNN. So now when they come in and they're just learning the power of Facebook and they want more clicks and ad dollars, and it's like, okay, so we need to make stories that people resonate with. But when they do that, there's a real world impact because now people are scared because just like how all of it out of the blue was killer bees or something, right?
Isn't it crazy? Forgot about that already.
Right. So it's just like I think like in the world, wherever you're focused, everything is always happening at all times.
Yeah.
Like, everything is always going on. So if I don't want to be like too graphic, but it's a kid right now being going through something that they're gonna be talking about 20 years down the line, and they're going through it right now as we speak here. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be talking about how their life was ruined because of it. Like 20 years down the line, but we don't know what's going on. But so everything is always going on. So you could always put, and what the media does is they put the magnifying glass on anything, and they control how you feel based on that. So I feel like the coronavirus, it's a magnifying glass on it, but there's so many other things that kill people that if they even switched it to over here, they would have people just as scared to do anything else. If they covered car accidents the way they covered that, you wouldn't even want to get in the car.
No, you're right. Yes, especially people sit home and just watch the news all day.
Yeah.
So then, since you have such a large platform, how have you used it during this time?
Well, I started to cover. I don't know if you saw, but I started to cover like the protests when they first was going off. A lot of people arguing on my page because I have so many different people from different walks of life, and I started to cover it, and they were going off. They're arguing, butting heads in my comments, and I'm here for the conversation. I mean, like I said, I don't let it affect me. And I like to hear what people got to say, even if I don't agree with them. I'm saying I'm not like, I don't block nobody. You feel me? Like, I'm not going to block you because you don't like black people. Like, it's cool. Like, it's whatever. Like, we could talk about it, whatever it is. You don't have to, I don't care if you like me. My life don't go off if you like me or not. So we can have the conversation about why you feel like that. And you can stay on my page. You know what I'm saying? So you could keep seeing more things, and maybe you can realize that there's other ways to think than just yours. You know what I mean? So like I just with the like what I did is basically I started to cover it and then kind of give my opinion on a couple things. But I'm careful about that because I want to make sure when I say something, I can stand by it later. Like when somebody brings a different point of view, I don't feel like, oh damn, why I say that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I feel like you said the thing earlier about putting the LOL before your statement.
Yeah.
I'm sure that kind of helps you mold your messages going forward. It's like everything's a learning lesson.
Yeah, learning lesson. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of times I think and then one thing I do online is we all have friends all from all different walks of life, and we all want to make jokes about whatever. You know what I mean? So but what I try to do is I try to look at the person I'm talking about. So let's say if I'm talking about a Mexican. Right? If I'm commenting on something like that's Mexican news, like or like like when the kids were getting locked up in cages, I'm thinking about the friend that I have that's Mexican and me saying what I'm about to type directly to him and how that would affect him in my mind. You know what I'm saying? And if I would be okay with him, his what I mean, like how him reviewing me like, oh, word, that's how you feel about us?
Yeah, no, that's a great take because I think we see a lot of people, especially once Trump became president. It's almost like, wait, you had those opinions the whole time?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. So it's just like, I just want to, because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's going to say things and make mistakes and not really mean what they say, or not have to be in the right mind state about it when they're saying it. So I'm very forgiving about like those type of things because it's like, everybody's going to make mistakes and say random things. You know what I mean? Like, but we're in a culture now that it's cancel culture. You feel me? So like, they can't trying to cancel. Every time I wake up, the other day I woke up and it was Cardi B's Over Party was a trending topic.
Oh,
I'm like, what did Cardi B do?
A lot of that though too, and I don't think a lot of people look at this, especially if you're on Twitter. You got to make sure it's not a K-pop topic,
right?
Because they could get anything trending within like a second.
Anything.
So like there'd be random. You wake up and it's like
that used to be like Justin Bieber and them used to be able to do that, like the Believers and all that. And the One Directioners, like they used to control it like that. And now the K-pop people, they control it.
So yeah, you definitely got to be careful. And again, since you have such a big platform and you're also business savvy, you didn't try at all to use your platform maybe to help people like how best to use your stimulus money or how to invest maybe if you got a loan during this time. I know like people are very much at leisure and they're like when they're online they're trying to enjoy themselves and they're kind of just there, like they don't really always want hard information. So like those conversations are usually when people meet me and like if they ask me, I'm willing to give it. But a lot of times I don't want to come off like I'm preaching. I mean, so I don't want to do a whole post where I'm breaking down stocks because that stuff can make your head hurt. Like if you're not even into it. And you remember, you're on Instagram, you're just going like this. So it's like
I give people. I have a lot to give, but I also like to give people what they're ready for, because you could tell them something and they're not ready to accept it, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So it's like I might, if I feel like it's something that like my book is easy to digest, like a little thing about stock that might spark them to ask me more, then I usually do that. You know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, that's super dope. And I want to actually, real quick, we're gonna take a break, so we'll be right back after this.